children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you open.
Top of the morning to you, horror fans. Final Guys back here. First Batman returned, then Superman returned, then Mary Poppins returned. But we're here to talk about when the Leprechaun returned. I'm Jack. This is Final Guys, and with me, as usual, Hunter and Jason. How's it going, fellas?
All right, you feckin' bastard.
I was going to try an Irish accent, but I knew that would not have worked out in my favor.
I grew up in an all-Irish town in the Bronx where I thought my parents were freaks because they didn't have brogues. I was like, what? Why don't they talk like grandma, grandpa, and everyone else? But there's nothing like being called a little scut by your grandmother in a nice Irish brogue.
I don't even know what that is, but it doesn't sound nice.
And we don't know what it is either, but we all assume it's pretty horrible.
Do you feel as an Irish person that the Leprechaun is a racist thing? Like Italians might feel that Super Mario is a racist
I think
thing?
the way Italians were offended by The Sopranos, I'm equally offended by Leprechaun, and I think it was also cultural appropriation going on here. I'm going to write to the president. This must stop. I'm going to build a wall around people who want to say shit about Ireland.
I was going to say, by watching this, did we culturally appropriate Irish people? I'm guessing we did.
No, because I'm Irish. It's all right.
I'm not.
That's fine. You're Irish for now. I've anointed ye.
Well, I need be gold. So what are the we've got the gang in the chat room. If you're watching this live, we've got a live chat. And there's a drinking game for words said during the podcast. So somebody want to give us what the drinking rules drinking words?
I've got them. You want to hear me Lucky Charms?
I need be gold.
Okay, Jack. If you say the words reboot, Jennifer, or Warwick, you bastards must take a pint. If I say Lucky Aniston in college, you must drink. And if Jason says bad, practical, and joke, take a nip of the Jamesons. And if any of the three of us say gold Leprechaun, you motherfuckers are dead tonight. Or King, you must drink at the pub.
That's a pretty good accent. I'm not going to lie. That was...
See, I grew up with grandparents. That's the way they spoke.
Like
Can you give us all the different marshmallows from Lucky Charms real quick?
Orange stars, green clovers, blue diamonds. I don't know the rest.
Purple horseshoes.
Purple horseshoes.
They
My
have
favorite
rainbows
cereal
now.
as a kid was Grins and Smiles and Giggles and Laughs, but I don't think anyone remembers that cereal.
Isn't that the name of the new Zac Efron movie about Ted Bundy?
I also like Cookie Crisp. That was a great one.
Cookie Jarvis.
Mm.
Okay. You guys ready for some news? Because I've got some things you're going to love.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It wouldn't be Final Guys if we didn't talk about the Chucky reboot.
Oh, damn.
So, there's a reboot movie, and then there's a TV show continuing the classic Chucky. Well, the classic Chucky TV show has landed, and it's going to be on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh.
So, while
So excited now.
Don Mancini and Charles Lee Ray are very happy about this. I'm a little disappointed that it's sci-fi because I feel like Netflix would have enabled like a more of an R-rated thing going then.
You know what, though? I retract my initial reaction because Sci-Fi just did Channel Zero.
It was pretty hardcore.
And they don't hold back on Channel Zero.
I haven't seen any of that.
I'm going to talk about the new Channel Zero tonight, and it was hardcore a couple times. So
I'm doing earmuffs when you do that.
I'm going to talk about Channel Z by the B-52s. Channel Z.
That's a terrible song.
You're a terrible song.
I like the B-52. I just didn't like that song.
Okay. So, any thoughts on this beyond? You guys are supposed to have banter and funny things to say.
I'm going to watch it.
it's really hard for me to care. A series feels like it's going to be tough for me to stay interested in. I mean, just by the end of the last Chucky movie, I was like, okay, I'm good for a while.
Just keep throwing Jennifer Tilly in. Whenever it gets boring, I'll be fine.
It's true.
That's what I want to see, is how many of the regulars are in it. And do they do like The Walking Dead, where like you see a character for one episode, then for 4 episodes they're not around, and then they're back for one, like they space them out.
God, yeah, I hope they go with the Walking Dead formula, because that's awesome.
I mean, it sounds
Okay.
better in the movie, so I'm sure we'll all watch it.
I got to say, a lot of these shows I don't end up following, but I'll like DVR it and give it a shot.
By the way, I think we've talked about this Chucky stuff more than any other thing in the horror universe.
Do we talk about this and the Charles Manson?
Charles
movie?
Manson.
So weird.
Okay, well, here's something we haven't talked about in a while. It's all the damn vampires. The CW, everybody's favorite network of pretty people,
Oh,
has
Dawson.
ordered a pilot for a Lost Boys TV show.
Is Corey Feldman going to play the grandpa?
That would probably be the one thing that would save this show.
Actually, he's peddling his pedophile movie right now.
He's got a pedophile movie.
Yeah, he did a documentary about all the pedophiles in Hollywood preying on him and his ilk.
Oh, he's in a vampire movie that I haven't watched yet. Corbin Nash or something, where he plays like a transvestite or something.
Oh, yeah.
Gee, I can't believe I missed it.
No, if they want to save this show, this is super easy. You just bring back the shirtless saxophone guy on the beach. And
Totally.
It'll be amazing. That's one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever, is that fucking dude.
Hunter and I have been in a room with that guy.
Really?
That
Yeah,
chiller.
He was glorious.
Was he shirtless and oiled?
He was shirt full and not oiled.
Oh, come on, man.
But he hasn't at least morphed into like late days Brando. He still looks pretty good.
Do you have the ponytail still?
He had long hair, right?
I don't remember.
I think he had long hair still. Look,
I just remember going,
you're really
"Hey,
drunk at these things.
saxophone guy," and then I moved on to
Hey, not going to pay you $30 for your autograph.
yeah. That's
Thanks.
I look at the person, then I look at the price of the interaction, and I'm like, no.
No, thank you. By the way, at Chiller in April, the cast, well, part of the cast of Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things will be there,
Oh.
which I'm literally, my nipples could cut steel. I'm so excited right now.
The reason I want to go to that is because the Magic Garden women are going to be there.
Paula Carroll.
See ya. Hope you had a good
Is that a
morning.
regional thing? I don't know if
It probably is. Well,
Did they
first
get-
of all, Jason, you're probably too young and not regional to know what the Magic Garden is.
I don't have any clue what that is.
Yeah, it was a kid's show with 2 hippie women singing songs in a garden.
With a pink squirrel.
Sherlock the squirrel and Chuckle
Story
Pack.
box.
Really sad. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a
my-
legend in the New York area.
Yes.
Okay. Here's the other thing we like to talk about on this show. This news had all the good stuff. I'm here to report that the Dark Universe is dead.
Oh, yay. Like official?
Somebody was listening to Jason's wish list. Santa Claus up there. Blumhouse is taking the Universal monsters, and they're committed. Universal is committed to creating filmmaker-driven projects based on classic characters from the Universal Monsters legacy instead of developing a connected universe of monster stories.
Exactly. Nailed it. Although I bet they're still going to be connected eventually. It'll be like Glass.
Yeah. The first one's going to be the Invisible Man,
Solid
But
choice
not
for
with-
Blumhouse.
but not
Yeah.
with Johnny Depp.
Good.
Yeah. Who cares
So-
who's in it?
Lee Winnell's doing it, isn't he?
Lee Winnell is doing it,
Hell yeah. I'm all in.
I
which
hope
he
Ed
did
Begley
Upgrade.
Jr. is the Invisible Man.
Lee Winnell did Upgrade and one of the Insidious or
He also did Saw and
Insidious
all the
last
Insidious
year.
movies.
Yeah, so clearly they listened to Final Guys and decided, you know what? That's a good idea. We should go that route.
Oh, these 3 morons, they had their finger on the pulse.
I mean, that's like word for word what we said. Give it to Blumhouse, do small to medium budgeted horror movies, and it'll be a hit. And that's what they're doing.
And hire some insane director like James Whale. A lot of those movies are so good because of his direction.
Now I can't wait to see what they do with each one. Like, can we actually get a good Wolfman movie? What are they going to do with Dracula? Like, this could be awesome.
Yeah. And you know what? If they were all connected in some Avengers type movie 5 years down the line, as long as they're good movies, I'm fine with it.
Or you did the old days where you just occasionally throw Dracula versus Frankenstein and the Wolfman versus the Mummy.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
The problem is they overthink the shared universe thing, because you really could easily just make it use like the Stephen King books that throw Easter eggs out. And so you as a insider know, like, oh, they mentioned Salem's Lot or Castle Rock, so you kind of in your head, this is all in the same world. Enough of the fans who give a rip are gonna know, and they read about it anyway. And the general public is not gonna blink if you say, oh, remember that Dracula and that Frankenstein movie? Now they're gonna be together. Like, it happens all the time. So
right,
they don't have to overdo it with these heavy-handed, here's all the mythology, everybody.
Yeah, nobody wants mythology.
Do you think Hugh Jackman will be Van Helsing?
Oh, that would be awesome.
God damn, I hated that movie more than I think anything I'd seen up to that point in my life.
That was my birthday movie. That was like my present. It was the worst present ever.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh god.
When I heard you had Hugh Jackman as Van Helsing and Kate Beckinsale, the sweet, sweet delight,
who is better looking now than then.
I'm just like, oh, this is going to be tremendous. Like, this is great. And like having Van Halen, as a
that would have been better.
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen as Van Helsing.
Well, the first movie would be Running with the Devil. I mean, this stuff writes itself. But like, it was a good idea on paper. Like, yeah, have Van Helsing kick it off, and he could face different monsters and stuff, almost Kolchak like, with more action. And instead, they were like, nah.
By the way, the soundtrack is killer. I used that soundtrack to write to for years after that movie.
It's actually don't remember the soundtrack at all.
Yeah, it was good. By the way, moment of not silence, but just let's think of Kate Beckinsale. Let's dedicate this episode to her, because she had a ruptured ovarian cyst and was in the hospital. So I hope she gets better and can fit in the tights for the next Underworld movie.
Hear, hear.
All right.
Get better, Kate.
Okay, so that's all the news. Let's get to our staff picks. Roll the thing.
We have such sights to show you.
The thing has been rolled.
Excellent.
Boom.
Okay, this is the part of the show where we talk about stuff we watched during the week. This week, Jason's going to go first.
I should probably go first every week because I always have so much shit.
Yeah, really.
All right. Starting up, based on your recommendation, Hunter, I watched Hellfest.
Oh.
Yeah, I had no clue what this was about. I remember you talking about it a little bit, but I don't really pay attention to anything you say, so I had no concept of even what kind of movie this was.
Paying attention is mutual.
I had no idea it was a slasher. So that was kind of a pleasant surprise. We don't get a ton of those anymore, let alone having it be pretty good. I never felt this movie was exceptional, but I never felt anything was really wrong with it, to be honest.
It was better than it had any right to be.
Yes. For a movie that just kind of came and went and no one, like, I remember when you told me you saw it in the theater, I didn't even know what the hell you were talking about. I don't think I'd ever even heard of the movie.
The whole family. Let's get the family in the caravan and go see Hellfest.
Now, there is something that's going to be a big turnoff for a couple people, but you got to get past it. It looks like a 90s slasher film. Like, I Know What You Did Last Summer and all those. It looks exactly like it. Beautiful people. The way it was lit, the way it was shot. Now, I happen to like some of those movies. They really run off the rails, but some of them were good. And this looked like that. It kind of played out like that. But some solid gore at different points that actually had my wife turning away. And she watches some pretty hardcore shit with me. So, and it was practical. Thank God, practical effects. This is, I don't know, it feels like in the last year we're getting quite a few practical effects in some of these slasher type movies, and I'm digging it.
They're here. They're listening to us again.
Yes.
Everyone's listening to the final.
We should just run all the studios and all the independent.
They're all listening together though in one room, so we're not getting the downloads and hits.
That's why it's only 4 downloads a week. What did you think of the guy's mask?
It was fine. It wasn't. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was poor. I don't know if it's something a lot of people will recognize, but it was fine. I thought he was fine. He was generic.
Yeah. What did you think of the ending?
I thought it was fine. It wasn't like a revelation, but I dug it.
Oh, I love that ending.
We got a little more background into him, I think, than I expected, I guess. But
yeah,
it's a solid movie. I don't want to pump it up too much. There's really not much wrong with it. It was a pleasant surprise. If you like slashers, this is a pretty damn solid modern take on it. So it was fun. Bit of a throwback. Hellfest.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hunter, what do you got?
I watched my neighbor take a shower.
Ah.
But when that was done,
would you recommend it?
No, he wasn't that hot. So anyway, I did, in preparation for Glass, which I couldn't be on the episode, I had watched Unbreakable. So I watched Unbreakable the morning before I watched Glass. And it showed me, and I heard you guys talk about it, how really Glass is a direct sequel to Unbreakable. It's kind of like Split's that's the outlier.
Yeah.
Of the two. That's the exciting stuff in between the two loaves of bread, the two slices of bread. I remember it being kind of slow and plodding, and it was exactly what I remembered it to be. It and Glass are both of them do this thing that I hate. It's sleepwalk talk. And that was, for a long time, Bruce Willis did all these movies where he would just sleepwalk talk. He would barely emote, barely speak.
He still does that.
Yeah, it just drove me. That drove me crazy. I like Unbreakable, so I didn't hate Unbreakable. I like as a comic book guy, I liked how the meta part of all that stuff was, and Samuel Jackson with his whacked out hair was kind of fun to watch. Like the origin stories. I thought all that was kind of cool, but you really have to be into this shit. This isn't for a general audience.
It's not one I think would age well with a lot of people.
No, and that's why Split works so well, because anybody could walk in off the street and tuck into Split. Whereas I don't think they could do that with Unbreakable, and I really don't think they could do that with Glass.
The revelation at the end of Unbreakable just seems so anticlimactic to me.
Well, it was just thrown in at the very last
thrown
second.
in, and it wasn't like that big a deal. And you were coming off the Sixth Sense, so you were expecting something nuts, and it was just like, oh, that's it.
It's funny, on rewatching, I kept expecting that revelation to happen so much sooner. And I'm like going, well, there's like 2 minutes left in this freaking movie. When is he going to say it? I'm thinking, did I think wrong? Maybe he's not bad. And then they just throw that in there.
Now, Unbreakable works as a drama. It's a character piece about he and his wife and his son. That's what that movie is about. The superhero stuff is very on the side for a lot of it. There's a lot of talk about it, but it's a drama. And if you don't like dramas, you're probably not going to like Unbreakable.
What's a Glass? There's a lot of talk. I mean, when it does happen, I loved what happened. But there's a lot of talking in that movie.
Just an hour and a half or so.
Yeah. I was happy to see Anya Taylor-Joy, who anything she's in, I'm in. She's become my go-to girl. I was glad. I don't know how you guys felt about this in Glass, how when they hint at this big battle on the building, I'm thinking, please don't Marvel this shit up and it's going to be like this big bombastic thing. So I like that they hinted at that and said, nah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do this fight right here. I like that part. What did you guys think of that?
I thought that was cool.
I thought it sucked. I thought that end fight was crap.
I wish they had done more at the location they were at.
But I think
the idea was fine. The execution was not good.
I think that's what a fight would be like with that. Like, that's what I didn't want to see, this over the top thing. This is supposed to be like quasi regular people who don't fully understand who they are yet.
But like you and I could shoot you pushing me up against a van in 5 minutes, and that's what the end fight scene was.
Yeah, like, I know.
It was just so. I've been waiting on a sequel to Unbreakable for freaking 20 years, and then I get it. And it's like, I don't know. I've been thinking about that movie a lot, and I really need to see it again with my expectations being different, because
the more I thought about it, the more there's a couple of humongous holes in the logic of the movie, and some of the things that Sarah Paulson does just make no sense.
I can't stand her.
The
I
actress?
don't mind her.
Can't stand the
She's
side of her.
fine. Shut up.
I don't know what it. No, it's just one of those. I see it, I'm like, oh.
You're such a hater.
I don't like her face. Something about her
Your
face.
face. Anyway, no,
it's
I'm
terrible.
I'm with you, Jack. It's been a week, and my appreciation for it's coming down a little bit. But I want to see it from a different angle. See if I like it more. But
See, I was never hoping for a sequel to Unbreakable or a conclusion to the series. My
you can't tell me at the end
of
of Split when you saw Bruce Willis and found out who he was that you weren't excited. Come on.
Oh, I did get excited. Oh, I wanted to see Glass really bad. It didn't give me everything I wanted, but it also didn't go in places that I know people wanted. So when people get screwed, I get happy.
I think the whole series, though, like we were saying it, like I like Unbreakable, I like Split. I thought Glass was okay, but it was the weakest of the three. But it's like a trilogy now that I'm like, yeah, it's okay. If it's on, I guess I'd watch it. I'd recommend people watch it, but I don't like love it. I never loved it. I just liked it a lot, and I got very excited for Glass, and
So
then
did I.
Glass didn't entertain me, and I know everyone's like, well, it's not what you expected, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, that's fine, but I really would have enjoyed a little bit more of the challenge of tracking down the beast.
Give Bruce Willis 7 more words to say.
Please. I'm seeing in the chat, Sheridan said that Glass was a $20 million budget, and so far it's a $165 million take. So I'd say Shyamalan's doing okay. And
yeah, he succeeded.
He's going to do whatever the hell he wants to do next. And then I'm also seeing Pamela Morris saying that Paulson is annoying as hell. Is this a thing? Do people not like her? I
know quite a number of people who will not watch American Horror Story and lots of things because she's in it.
What the hell? I don't get this.
Face. She looks like every asshole librarian who's ever told you to shh when you've barely spoken. There's just something.
Oh my God.
Well, we'll never have her on the show now. Goddamn.
Well, we will some week when you're not on because we like her.
You can have her. Go ahead. I was happy in Bird Box when she bit it.
She's a good actress. It's so crazy.
I always get the feeling she actually has no lips and they just draw them on with like a magic marker.
It's kind of like Henry Cavill in the Justice League.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go now. You done?
I'm done. I'm spent.
I saw a classic, freaking awesome movie. 1995's Castle Freak.
Oh my God.
Babs Crampton.
I've been
wanting to revisit this. I can't wait to hear what you thought.
So this is just such a great little stupid movie.
Long pause.
It is the most appropriately named movie because Jeffrey Combs and his wife Barbara Crampton and their blind daughter inherit a castle in, I think it's Italy. And when they move in, there is a person/monster that's been locked up in the basement who's become a freak.
A bit of a castle freak.
So it's a freak in a castle, or a castle freak. And
castle freak.
He wreaks havoc on the castle patrons. Not a ton of people die in this movie.
No, some get thrown around.
Yeah, and a lot of things fall in place for the castle freak to be successful because like the daughter is blind. If the daughter wasn't blind, he never would have been able to get as far as he got freaking out in the castle.
I'm freaking out, man.
Jeffrey Combs is just so great because he's so dramatic and over the top and everything.
He's crazy.
Yeah. And Barbara Crampton is just there giving it all she's got. She's so earnest. And
that's the best way to describe all her performances. She is earnest.
I would have gone with nude, but earnest
not
is
nude
fine.
in this movie.
Yeah,
I was just going to ask. I haven't seen this movie since high school. I very vaguely remember it.
She keeps it on.
Somebody else is naked in it. So when they finally do get to the gore, it's awesome.
Yes.
I remember that.
And so I would tell people who want to watch this. There's a version of this you can actually watch, which I didn't, because you had to pay a couple of bucks versus the free one on Shudder. But it's hosted by William Shatner, so it's kind of like a Joe Bob
What?
thing. I think it's on Amazon, where he hosts it, and I don't know how much hosting he does in it or whatever. But I was like, I don't need the extra commentary. I'm just gonna watch it.
The hell does
normally.
William Shatner know about Castle Freak? That's so bizarre.
He knows whatever script they wrote.
Every actor who does these things shows up and reads except for Joe Bob.
By the way, Barbara Crampton is producing the reimagined Castle Freak.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's one of the projects she's working on right now.
Oh, excellent.
I heard that on the Postmortem podcast interview with her.
Oh,
Which
so
is
I love
must listen.
That's a great one because she talks about Reanimator and how that was kind of funny. So then when they made From Beyond, the director was trying to make it more serious.
Yeah, it doesn't really work.
I love From Beyond.
I do too.
So do I.
I revisit that more than Reanimator. I don't know that it's a better movie, but I revisit it more often. It's just so crazy.
It's bananas.
That's awesome. So wait, Castle Freak, if you're looking for like that video store classic cheesy old
That was
school,
a big one.
And you said on Shudder. I'm gonna have to check that out
I
again.
believe it's on Shudder.
I've been wanting to see it, so
Yeah, it was definitely fun and worth the. Like I have not seen that probably since the 90s. So.
yeah. It was probably like 97 or 98 when I last saw it, so I need to check it out. All right, I went and finally watched something Joe Bob hosted back in the summer. I just never got around to, and it's one that was kind of a hole in my viewing over the years, and that is Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bowl-orama.
Oh,
Uncle Impy.
This is not a good movie, but it has like that weird quality where you don't mind watching it. It's fun, but it's
That's
nothing
because you watched
happens.
it with Joe Bob. I think if you were just watching it with yourself.
So I actually watched it, but I wanted to get a movie in, and I didn't have time to watch it with his commentary, so I have to go back and just watch that. I just had it on in the background while I was doing stuff. One, there's a ton of nudity, so hey,
Yeah. Get them Jersey girls nude.
Other than that, there's not much happening in this movie. Most of the kills are pretty much non-existent off screen. Impy is just horrible dialogue. He doesn't move. It's just his ears kind of flap.
Uncle Impy.
But there's something about it. I saw it was directed by David Dakota, who I have seen many of his films, some in preparation for So Bad It's Good. He writes and directs some kind of weird gay fetish films under the name Richard Chasen. This guy's directed like hundreds of movies. Yeah, like he's a weird dude who's directed some weird movies, and this is one of them. But I will say this is the best David Dakota film I've seen.
Wow.
I don't know. It's weird. It's just kind of I don't want to say it's a fun movie, but it has like a weird fun quality, even though it's not one I would probably recommend to almost anybody.
So I watched that movie. I don't know what year. Let's call it.
Came out in 88. It's got Linnea Quigley.
Yeah, I either saw it like in 88, 89, or 90, like somewhere back in the video store days. Hunter, you know my buddy Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
We got some beers. We rented that, and we laughed our asses off. And I've only seen it that one time, but it has always been dear to me. And if I watched it now, I literally only remember flashes from it. I just remember Uncle Impy and a bunch of girls, and so I'd like to revisit. I think I'll go the Joe Bob route.
You should. I would recommend that.
Did you pay for this?
No, it's on Shudder.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Anything Joe Bob has done, they're all on Shudder, so they're all in their catalog. But it's one I would recommend watching with someone else, probably. Couple beers, good idea. You can tell by some of the dialogue and some of the acting and things that I'm not sure that they actually did any preparation. Some of the line delivery seemed like somebody read it off screen, walked in front of the camera, and just said the line quickly, and then they went to the next shot. So
oh my God.
it's a thing. It's worth a watch if you're hardcore in the genre, but you know,
Classic.
yeah, it's a movie.
It's a movie. All right. Well, I'm going to do a movie that I think, Jack, you'll piggyback with me on.
I will piggyback with you.
I finally watched Jason's Stroke Fest that he loved so much, Annihilation.
Ah, yes. Talk about
And
a movie that grew on me the more I thought about it.
I had a choice to get annihilated before I watched it, but I said, no, let me just settle. Let me pay attention to
Not
this.
a good idea.
No, so I didn't. This is another one of those sleepwalk talk movies that cadence with dialogue bothers the hell out of me. I think it was awesome to look at, and that bear attack, it's just incredible. And not so much for the visuals, but I think the audio part of that is what really drove that home.
But bear attack had kind of the ritual feel to it.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
This would not have made my top list. It's a movie I will never ever want to see again. I thought it was really cool. It just felt to me personally, just fell short in a lot of areas. I just wasn't interested. I couldn't get into it. I wasn't comparing it to the book as I was watching. I said, I know the book is so weird, so let me see what you do with this. And maybe watching it on a small screen affected that. Maybe on a big screen, I'd be immersed in it. It'd be different, but I don't know. It just didn't hit me.
I enjoyed it, but the ending, some of the graphics got kind of hokey for me, and I suddenly was kind of aware that I was watching a movie with special effects, whereas the special effects throughout the rest of it were, I thought, pretty cool.
Like her doppelganger and the
doppelganger
ill-fitting suit.
It was kind of like the Spider-Man dance thing, animated.
Yeah, I don't know. That seemed really. I was like, "What the hell am I watching?"
And suddenly she went into the Grateful Dead movie for a little while. But the
I did like the plant people growing up. I thought that was really cool.
About the scene where they cut that guy open and his insides are moving. That was amazing.
No, that was really cool. But it's these little cool parts that are surrounded by a really boring movie. I don't know.
Jennifer Jason Leigh has really become a gruff between that and Hateful Eight.
Yeah, don't fuck with Jennifer Jason Leigh.
She's just a salty pirate now.
I'm loving her comeback. She's doing cool stuff.
I'm glad she's getting a lot of work. I think that's awesome. But yeah, Natalie Portman, I just felt like I wanted to hit her with a hot poker or something and just say, just emote, say something above barely a whisper. I don't know. Look like you care.
I cared.
You cared. I know.
I thought that movie was genius. I actually want to watch it again. I have a feeling I'm going to pick up a ton more.
And I thought the caricatures that the other women were falling into, I was like, oh, you could have done better than this. I thought that
was intentional.
I thought that Gina Rodriguez girl was going to say, I ain't got time to bleed.
That would have been cool.
Pain don't hurt.
I felt like saying, hey, if you want to make a movie about women empowerment, don't copy insipid guy movies. Make your own.
Was Annihilation on your list, Jack? I can't remember.
No, it's I liked it. I thought that was the one I red boxed.
Oh, that's right. Right before it went free. I remember that.
Yeah. And it was enjoyable. I liked it. I just it didn't, like, I watched it. I'm good. That's fine. I thought the ending was cool.
Yeah, different than the book, and I thought that was cool.
And I thought that, all that stuff you're talking about, the bear, the alligator, the plant thing, Tessa Thompson was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed the whole thing. And like I said, I got a little bit hokey there at the end. So I enjoyed it. I would recommend it.
It was there. It was like a good appetizer, mozzarella sticks. It was, it was good. Now it's gone.
It's an appetizer, not a main course.
Yes. Hey, to tell you, right after that movie, I watched Notting Hill with Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant, and I was like, oh man, I forgot how much I love Notting Hill.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Notting Hill completely wiped Annihilation out of my head. Look, Jason, how can you not tear up when she says, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy asking her to love me? If you don't cry at that, then you're not even human.
I think I just fell asleep hearing it.
I'm nodding off.
Have a heart, you son of a bitch.
God, Jack, save us, please.
As Mike Tyson once told Lennox Lewis, I'll fuck you till you love me.
Oh, please don't do that.
That's my
I love how you went from that Julia Roberts quote to the Mike Tyson quote.
It's amazing how my mind just wanders, but it all is connected in some way.
It is
Amazing. That's the word I was thinking of. Amazing.
Amazeballs.
amazing. I want to get to Leprechaun. So, anybody have anything else?
I do. I got two more things.
I got one quick book.
Okay, go for it. Whoever.
Let me do my show first. I watched the last season of Channel Zero.
Yep.
Called Dream Door, I think it was called.
I'm taking off my headphones.
I think it was the best season yet. It has some hardcore gore effects multiple times. So that's what I was talking about with Chucky being not being too concerned about being on sci-fi. They freaking went for it. They were dropping F-bombs in it. They were
really,
yeah. It was like just watching a movie, like a long movie. It's budget shows again, like all the Channel Zero stuff. But I feel like they did a pretty damn good job stretching their budget out with what they had.
Is Channel Zero one long story, or is it
no?
an anthology?
Each season is based on a different creepypasta. And this one's based on a creepypasta I'd never read called the Hidden Door or something like that.
So is one season one story, or is it?
Yep. Each season is one. It's 6 episodes each season, one story. You're in and out. You're done. Highly recommend it. It was just canceled by Sci-Fi after 4 seasons, so I'm hoping. I'm really hoping Shudder picks up, to be honest with you, because it's so good. I love Channel Zero. Everybody should be watching it, and it feels like no one's even heard of the goddamn thing. Sci-Fi, they ordered 4 seasons of it, and as far as I know, they never promoted it once. So
I want to get into creepypasta, but I'm trying to lay off the carbs a little bit. So
yeah, it's understandable. Just get the dream fields of creepypasta.
I love Dreamfields. By the way, don't you agree? I think Channel Zero is probably the best horror TV on TV.
I don't watch a ton of horror TV, so I would probably agree with everything I've seen. It's right up there. It's fantastic. So it's a shame it was canceled, but hopefully Shudder or somebody will grab it.
Ah, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
I watch horror TV. It's called The News.
Well, you're right. It really is.
Hit your book.
All right. My book, real quick, is Full Wolf Moon.
Woof.
Son of a bitch.
By Lincoln Child, which you remember him as part of the writing duo of Lincoln Child and Douglas Preston. They do the Agent Pendergast FBI things. This was, I didn't realize it's part of a series. This guy, Jeremy Logan, who's an enigmologist. He studies strange enigmas. And of course, like all their stuff, he's rich and he has all these resources and he's smart and erudite. But he ends up in up by Lake George investigating what could be a bunch of people being murdered by a wolf man.
All right.
It was actually kind of cool. All their books, both of them, they write. You can breeze through their books. They're like Stephen King, where you can have like 500 pages and read it quicker than a 200-page novel, just by the way that they write and they suck you in. This was just like that, and I'm gonna hook into the series. I got to read the other books now.
So you started at book,
I think it's 5 or something. It was on my mother's table, and I picked it up and I took it home and I read it. And I went, son of a bitch! This is like this whole series.
Your mom reads werewolf books?
She does.
That's
Where do you think I came from?
I don't know. I'm similar to you, but my parents have never read a werewolf book.
I think my mother was partially warped, and I've totally destroyed her over the years. So I've totally wrecked her.
What was the name of this book again? I'm gonna have to look it up.
Full Wolf Moon.
Full Wolf Moon. Okay, I'll check.
I have
that
the
out.
shirt 3 Wolf Moon.
But you do.
It's a good shirt.
By the way, when I saw that book, I had to read it because I saw the title. I thought of Jason. Like, oh, woof.
Jason grew up in the mountains. That's hilarious.
And it's set in the mountains with rednecks. It's awesome.
All right,
You got a pretty mouth, boy.
I'll do my book really quick here. I'm still slowly working my way through Richard Laymon. I never read anything of his till maybe 2 years ago. I read The Woods Are Dark. Have you read this one?
I remember that. I have.
This book, I don't know if he was oversexed or undersexed or what the hell, but this book is insane. I mean, just in the first couple pages, a female character is stretching out. She gets out of the car and she's stretching out and thinking about the way the fabric of her shirt's brushing her nipples. I'm like, what the hell am I reading? Like,
I swear to God, I even told my editor, who was his editor, did he masturbate as he wrote?
I mean, this book was maybe the craziest one I've read of his so far in the sex department. It's just wow. Oh,
Everybody's so horny in his
yeah.
movies.
There's a town of people who are sacrificing drivers by to cannibals in the woods, and sex and violence ensues for about 300 pages. This is for the hardcore Laymon fan. This is the lowest one on the totem pole of what I've read so far. But I will say his style of writing just hooks me in. I can just plow through his books. I love.
You're a perv.
Yes. I love his style. I absolutely love it. His content is crazy and not quite my thing a lot of times, but I just love the way he structures his stories.
Yeah, his books are a walking Me Too movement.
How do you feel when you read the sex scenes?
Turgid.
Dirty, man. There's some
gets you
shit in
horny?
these books.
Did you ever read One Rainy Night by him?
Yes, that was the first one I read.
That was a good one.
That was a good book.
Island?
Yep, read that.
Red Island.
He's insane. Or he was.
Traveling Vampire Show. That was good too.
I would love to see the reaction to these books if they were published now.
Oh my god.
They're so crazy.
When were they written?
90s, 80s and 90s?
The 80s and 90s. He died in like 2000. He had a heart attack walking the dog.
Is walking the dog a euphemism for something else?
He was playing the yo-yo.
Good writer, though. Real good writer.
Yeah,
so
he died way too young.
I'm tapped out. I'm done.
Okay.
Boom.
Let us go somewhere out over the rainbow then and talk about tonight's main feature.
Favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
Pretty sure my computer just took a dump and the main feature bumper didn't work right. So we'll find
That's
out.
right.
That's okay. Tonight's main feature is Leprechaun Returns, which is, I don't know if it's 20 or 25 years after Leprechaun.
20,
I think 25.
25. 1993.
Oh, I can't believe, where has time gone? I remember when Leprechaun was announced and running over to my friend with like a newspaper or something, like, look what's going to be a movie. Oh my God.
Toot-a-doo.
And that was an event, renting that. Jennifer Aniston's first movie. Who would like to recap?
I will.
Okay. Leprechaun Returns.
Okay.
The hell's there to recap?
We're retconning everything. So all the other Leprechaun movies mean nothing.
They're Halloweening this.
We're doing a Halloween to this. So this movie takes place 25 years after the original, where Jennifer Aniston's daughter, who was in a sorority, has now returned because they decided to make the old house that Jennifer Aniston was in a sorority house, even though it appears to be 400 miles from any campus whatsoever. And it's a thriving sorority of 3 girls.
Yes.
Pretty sure I remember because I made my own fraternity in college. There is a limit to how few people you can have before you're eliminated. Not only is this girl, well, first of all, she's obviously only in the sorority because she has the house, which we did that to 3 guys so we could take their house and destroy it. I understand. But she's never even met these girls and she's in the sorority. Where's the rush? Where's the pledging? But whatever. So she's there. So is the kind of slow guy who was the painter from the first one. He's there and he's like, what is he? Taxi driver Floyd or whatever his name was.
He's Francis from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Exactly. So yeah, he takes her there and she's with these sorority girls, and there's like a crunchy, I want to be green and be sustainable girl who very type A, and she's trying to make the house a self-sustaining house. And let's all help. We'll get 2 guys to come help us as well, and they'll sleep with us in the sorority house, and we'll have some beers. And oh my God, there's a leprechaun in the well, and he's coming back, and he's not Warwick Davis. He's another guy in the leprechaun.
But he's the same character.
He's the exact same character who looks a little uglier from the first time around. And then murder happens. Boom.
Solid.
I kept hoping that Jennifer Aniston would come back, or that she was the voice when they were doing the mother's voice, but no.
So I looked into it. It's not the real Jennifer Aniston's voice.
What?
I didn't think it would.
No way. I can't believe it.
Sounds just like her though. They got a like renowned Jennifer Aniston impersonator.
There is such a thing.
Yeah, like if you look it up, you can find a video of this. I forget her name,
Oh, she didn't sound anything like her.
Getting her to say 5 sentences would have cost more than the entire budget of this movie.
Oh yeah,
Probably. But she's done horrible bosses too. She could have done this.
I will say this about this movie: for the good or the bad, really, really missed Warwick Davis in this movie.
It was I don't know. I felt the lack of his presence because I didn't think this guy had the same chops, and his voice didn't hit me the right way.
Yeah, he wasn't delivering the lines. Even his eyes. Warwick Davis had those beady eyes that would speak to you, and this guy was so dark that you never really got to see much of his facial expression.
He had a tough job following Warwick Davis, who, by the
They're
way, I looked up why
big
he
curly shoes to fill.
I looked up why he wasn't in this, and it's because he has kids and he doesn't think he should do horror movies when he has kids.
What?
So he's not going to do any more until his kids turn 18. Like, you can just not show them the movies. Like, what?
He's also a little guy. They don't live long. He might not have this kind of time.
Maybe he was kind of like done with the Leprechaun thing, and he was just trying to take the high road out.
Maybe.
The low road.
Maybe, but
You take the high road.
I think he missed out
The low
because
road.
I'll just say, I haven't seen a Leprechaun movie in a long time, but I saw the first 4. I don't think I saw Back to the Hood, but I saw Leprechaun in the Hood, and I did not see the remake that came out 3 or 4 years ago, whenever that was.
Origins.
I didn't watch that either.
I didn't see that.
Me either.
I would say this is the second best Leprechaun movie of the, I guess, 5 now I've seen. Not
Leprechaun
that
in
the
the
bar's
Hood
high.
is better than this movie.
You think?
The original isn't very good. I just
The
watched it
scene
last
in
St. Patrick's
Leprechaun
Day.
in the Hood where they're in the kitchen and the everybody's high and the Leprechaun is like, it's just, you can watch it on YouTube. It's awesome.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I don't know. This one, I thought this movie, I will say this, I thought this movie looked great 95% of the time. It did not look as low budget as I'm sure it was. I had to look it up. I guess WWE Studios did this. They do 50 million movies a year. So that's probably why it looked good. Regardless of the quality of the film, it looked good. The acting was, it existed.
Suspect.
The main actress, I thought, was great. She actually could act. The secondary characters,
The slutty girl was,
they were in
like,
the movie.
perfect B movie.
Yeah.
Not good actress.
She also didn't have anything to work with.
Nobody did. Well, I shouldn't say that. I thought the dialogue in this was pretty sharp at times. Other times not so sharp, but I thought some of the humor with the dialogue was pretty good. Some of the humor with the gags wasn't as good, but then like the writing with the whole setup and the sorority and everything was just like, what the hell is this?
By the way, were you as upset as I am that you set up a sorority house and nobody gets naked?
Yes. You can't do a movie like this and not have nudity, right? I mean, if
It's
you're going to do a
impossible.
throwback Leprechaun movie, somebody's got to get naked.
Sorority house.
They took the bar.
I figured they're all going to shower. They were trying to be green. They're got to all take a shower together.
I was expecting Sorority Babes and the Slime Ball Bolorama.
Yeah. And just for equal opportunity, the two guys, they could have taken a shower together too. They could have looped each other right up, give it for everybody. But no, we all walked away cheated.
Nobody got lucky.
God.
Because they had no charm.
I don't think that the one-liners were landing from the Leprechaun. He was definitely it was an MC Hammer reference, and
Oh my God! Like any of those kids would know what the hell he was talking
well,
about.
how would the Leprechaun? He's been in a well for 25
But yeah,
years.
that
This came
actually
out-
that line
Well-
worked for me because of how long he'd been gone.
He would know, yes, because that was in the 80s, so he would remember that. But they would be like, "What?"
but there was some other references the Leprechaun made that were very modern ones.
I
That
thought his jokes are terrible.
yeah, that's where I really missed Warwick
Yeah.
Davis because he delivered even in the worst of the Leprechaun movies. It was still him, and
Yeah, the Leprechaun in this was probably the weakest part of the movie, I would say. Whereas I thought the lines some of the other characters delivered were much better than the lines, which is completely opposite.
That is the worst thing to possibly say about a movie called Leprechaun.
But I did like that the characters kept taking selfies with him. It's just like kind of shitting on millennial culture. I thought that was hilarious. They see a monster, like, hold still for a second, they take a selfie. I
Oh, you didn't mention the drunk girl, did you?
Wasn't she the slutty girl?
There was the slutty girl, there was a drunk girl, there was the bitchy leader girl, and then there was Jennifer Aniston's.
See, the slutty girl I thought was the drunk girl.
I don't think she actually slept with anyone in the movie, did she?
No.
Yeah, the girl says, I'm not going to sleep with him, and then she sleeps with the guy.
She was pretty hot.
The one with the dreadlocks. Yeah, she was the one who kept banging the guy the whole movie.
Yeah.
But he was an ex-boyfriend.
The drunk girl was the blonde one who makes the deal with the leprechaun.
Oh my god.
Ooh, wait, we weren't in spoilers. Sorry.
I will give this movie credit. The effects are practical. Again, there wasn't a lot of CGI in this
Couple
movie.
decent ones, too.
A little CGI with the drone.
The drone.
Let's not talk about the
riding
drone.
a drone.
That was... You know, I kind of equated this while watching it to the Tremors movie we did last year. Except that was all CG and this was practical. But like in that, I should have hated this movie and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be.
What hurt this movie was how well they did Puppet Master. So I was hoping they would take some chances and have some crisp writing like on Puppet Master. But it fell between Puppet Master and just above the latest Hellraiser movie, which is beyond dreadful.
Oh, I don't even watch those.
I won't even put it on my list. This is the only time I'll admit I watched it. It's on Netflix.
It's kind of not fair to compare it to Puppet Master just because Puppet Master had a great writer-director just decide he wanted to write a sequel to one of these.
I know.
That's a complete standout in the 7th or 8th or 30th movie in a series. Like, that's not going to happen again.
If you're going to take a low bar like Leprechaun and try to revive it and just say, all right, we'll limit all the stuff in between. There was so much room to do such cool stuff, and they didn't. But
I don't
whatever.
know. I don't know how many people were dying to be in Leprechaun 7 or whatever the hell this was.
Maybe they could have got Courtney Cox or something.
Or Lisa Kudrow.
Yeah.
Her stink face.
Smelly cat.
So I'm the one who wanted to watch this the least, and I'm the one who liked it the most by the sounds of it.
Isn't that funny?
No, I think we liked it. It's just you weirdly are like looking at this like, I like the dialogue and the...
I thought
for a Leprechaun movie, it's really odd.
I thought the main actress said some funny things. I really did. I thought she had some really good lines. Which stands out to me because I thought the rest of the writing was horrible. Like the whole sorority thing. What is this?
Whoever wrote that has never ever been in a sorority or talked to anybody who was in a sorority.
I'm guessing it has to be some kind of joke I don't get. I don't know why you would choose that. Why are they a sorority? Aren't they Habitat for Humanity or something?
So weird.
And I thought in the setup, it was like you were saying, I thought because it was a sorority, they were just making it a sorority so they'd all get naked and they'd be super slutty. But none of that happened.
No, bait and switch sons of bitches.
How'd you like the solar panel death?
That was cool.
Cool. Very cool.
That reminded me of, there's a couple of movies. I think, is it the Resident Evil that does that? And maybe the 13 Ghosts, where they have like the glass like cuts somebody in half.
What's that Jennifer Lopez, Vince Vaughn movie?
The Cell.
The Cell. That was kind of cool where they did that.
Yeah. Wasn't there something in the Omen with a plate of glass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like, I think it's one of the Resident Evil ones where they literally did like somebody got cut in half with glass and then part of the body slides off the glass.
Yep.
No, that was a cool kill. And I believe that should happen to anybody who thinks that they shouldn't burn fossil fuels. We're going to be larger than OPEC, and I think we need to burn our fossil fuels.
Okay. I don't even know where you're going with that.
You remind me of the horror movie I watch on TV called The News.
By the way, this movie, Ryan Turek on Shockwaves was talking about it, and they liked this movie a lot.
The new Leprechaun?
Yeah. So again, I think we need to get in an all-out fist fight with Shockwaves. I think we should throw it down. I'm putting it out there right now. We will fight you.
I
will
will
fight all of you.
I mean, I didn't love this movie, but I liked it. My wife hated it. But it was, I'm not going to lie, it was significantly better than I expected. I liked the effects. I liked the kills.
It looked good.
Some of the humor worked. A lot of the humor didn't. It was just better than I expected it to be. I would give it like a 5 or a 6, which I was expecting a 2. So,
right.
I liked it better, honestly, than the, I would say, probably liked it better than the Tremors movie. A Cold Day in Hell.
Better than
Oh,
Tremors.
hell yeah.
So, it was better than I thought.
I feel like you're being a little weird here, Jason, where we can't talk about a movie like Leprechaun Returns a little bit disparagingly, and then you just immediately cast us as not liking the movie when it's a movie that's just asking to be picked apart. I feel like you're just kind of like pigeonholing us.
I hate it when my two dads fight like this.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
I think you're overreacting.
I'm glad that you liked it more than we did.
I didn't even love it. I'm just shocked that I liked it more than you guys.
I don't think you did, though.
Away.
I think you're acting like you did.
I can see myself St. Patrick's Day at the end of the night watching this, just throwing this on and liking it a whole lot more before I pass out my own urine and vomit.
For the Leprechaun completist, it's a must-see.
It sure is.
I did see most of them are on Prime, I think. I've been considering going back and watching them all again.
Leprechaun retrospective.
I just don't know that I have the heart to do it, to be honest with you.
Oh, there's so much better things to do with your time.
I've been considering going back and doing all the classic series, like all the Friday the 13th and Hellraiser and Nightmare on Elm Street, and just hating my life.
Those are a better endeavor. I would say for a Leprechaun, just pick one and watch it. Like watch In the Hood or Back in the Hood or something, and get yourself.
Didn't he go into space too?
He did go into space.
Yes. That was the third one? Fourth one? Jesus Christ, it's been too long.
I can't remember, yeah. Even when they were new and fresh, they just came and went in my conscious. I was like, all right, whatever. What's the next movie we have?
It's one of the lower series, although as I think about it, I've liked them better than like Hellraiser. Way better than Hellraiser. Not the first two, obviously, but like Leprechaun into Hood was way better than any other Hellraiser movie that came out other than the first two.
It is unbelievable how bad those Hellraiser movies. I mean, it's almost immoral that they're that bad.
If I was Clive Barker, I'd be really pissed. They're just the worst.
He got paid a whole lot of money. Because
I doubt it.
You know what? You're right.
It's probably one of those where they have to make a movie every 4 years or they lose the rights. So they just make the cheapest piece of shit they can.
God almighty. Just revolting.
Okay,
I think that this movie could have used Warwick Davis's presence. It's almost like when they remade Nightmare on Elm Street.
Bad Freddy.
Freddy wasn't cutting it. And
well, you know why? Because they're comedians. You can't replace a comedian that easily. Who's the next George Carlin? Nobody. There's only one.
While this movie was like okay, like it's a good pop it in and drink some beers with your friends kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They had an opportunity to make something more polished, like Puppet Master, or even. I mean, you don't even have to go that high. Like a little tighter writing on it and a little bit better execution.
Puppet Master has raised the bar for everybody else with these shitty movies.
That's a pretty good talent in it too, though.
I know.
Yeah, we're not going to get another one of those. No, without it being a reboot, I just can't imagine.
I say they give
that guy's a good writer.
Chance. Come on, Jason. Me and you could write a Leprechaun movie. It would be freaking awesome.
The budget would be so out of control if I wrote a Leprechaun movie.
Well, that's where I'll pull you in. I'm like, no, they'll just have him rape somebody.
I could write a better Leprechaun movie than either one of you. With
Swamp Monster Leprechaun.
With one hand, like that guy you were talking about.
Are you throwing down the gauntlet? Do we all? I think we should all write spec scripts for Leprechaun and then put them out there for people to vote on.
Leprechaun fan fiction.
Oh my God.
Did I ever tell you about the person I met who had a nice job, like a career, and quit her job so she could write what was that movie? Emergency, that TV show. Emergency? Fan fiction.
Like Rampart Squad 51?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Fan fiction. How? What?
Yeah, so You take a series or a movie and you just write spec stories based upon that and put them online for free for people
Right. Like,
to
how did
read.
she expect to make money from them?
She didn't. She just wanted to live in the world of emergency.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, her husband was thrilled.
So I did the homework I should have done beforehand. There were
There's like 8 movies. I think.
8 movies. Leprechaun in Space is 4. In the Hood is 5. Back to the Hood is 6. Origins is 7, and this is 8.
Good God.
That's pretty impressive to have that many movies from something not that good in Leprechaun.
By the way, we have 2 great suggestions in the chat. John Hestan says Bigfoot versus Leprechaun. God damn it, yes. And then Sheridan, no, Pam says Leprechaun erotica. Of course, Pam, you saucy little minx. And Sheridan says Leprechaun versus Jason.
So
Well,
there was
had
a
Freddy versus Jason.
there was a proposed Leprechaun versus Candyman movie I was reading, and Tony Todd nixed it because he felt like he didn't want to corrupt the Candyman into comedy.
Yeah, because those sequels were so good.
And I was just thinking how not compatible those 2 properties seem. Like, you feel like Freddy and Jason kind of makes sense. Candyman is such a somber, glum thing. And,
Boring.
yeah, Leprechaun is so goofy and wacky. Like, the idea of it, I can't even picture it.
No.
So I'm
By the
going
way,
to... Go ahead.
did either of you guys see the coming attraction for the new Pet Cemetery?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I think it looks amazing. As
Me
a
too,
trailer,
I'm
anyway.
surprised.
John Lithgow is perfectly cast.
I'm glad he's not trying to do. Oh, remember, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
He's doing his own thing, which I'm glad he's doing that.
And the trailer did not ruin the giant twist in the movie. So finally, kudos on that.
Yeah, there'll be another one that will.
All right, so I'm going to regret this search because now I'm going to get ads for this shit all over the place. But I searched for Leprechaun erotica on Amazon, and by God, this is a genre.
Son of a bitch! Guess what I'm reading next week?
The Lust of a Leprechaun, Mulberry Meat Stick for Milba, Lusty Little Leprechaun, The Horny Leprechaun Returns. This is a thing. So, enjoy.
I'm so in.
Kidnapped by a Leprechaun. Jesus.
Oh, I can't. Oh, come and put me shillelagh deep inside you.
This is
the leprechaun that loved oral sex.
Leprechaun Luck, a magically fertile short.
The horny Leprechaun Returns. This is awesome.
Amazon Kindle books are just a treasure trove of hilarity.
I am so buying one of these. At least one of them.
You'll be the first.
I might be. Or I might kill myself and find one of these that's like in the top 10.
We'll put one in your coffin with you.
I might get mulberry meat stick for Milba. It's a combination of witch and leprechaun erotica. So I like
the
alliteration.
alliteration.
But the leprechaun that loved oral sex has one of the worst covers of all time. And it's only $2.99.
How's that all?
And it's part 4 of the Sex Creature Erotica series.
Oh my God.
You're missing your calling.
Oh, dude. And there's cries in the chat for me to read this. So get ready for next week.
You could find Hunter on his own blog doing that reading, everybody.
I will come to your house and read this to you. I'll read you to sleep.
Go sign up for his Patreon and he'll read it to you all night.
It's only 10 pages.
That would be a hilarious Patreon like subscription tier. It's just you reading monster erotica.
Both original and other people's. Oh my God.
Oh God, that would be amazing.
I think you should stick to other people's.
I just bought 2 of them.
Oh Jesus.
So I'll let you know how it goes.
You're an idiot. Okay. So we're all giving Leprechaun Returns 2 shillelaghs up. I don't even know what a shillelagh is.
It's like a walking stick.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. I'm going to give it a half a shillelagh.
I'm going to give it 2 out of 4 clovers. Leaves.
What can you come up with, Jason?
I was gonna say out of 10, like 5 or 6, so like a 2 out of 4.
That's not a
Shamrocks
funny
or
rating, though.
whatever.
What's a funny Leprechaun rating?
I don't have anything. So
What
5.
might be cool if we did a live stream of the three of us drinking pints of Guinness and watching the entire series.
oh god. That
And-
would be
or at
like
least one of
16
them.
hours.
Well, we also have to wear adult diapers, and you can't get up to go to the bathroom.
Yes, this wouldn't be career ruining for anyone.
Not at all.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea. We're definitely going to do that. Thanks for the idea, pal.
You
Now
know
go
what?
back to rehab.
Next week, when you ask me for, hey, what'd you watch? So Johnny the Leprechaun pulled his shillelagh out.
I do want to hear a review next week of these books.
Oh, you will. I might have to put your book aside to read the whole 10 pages of this thing.
I'm really curious.
I will have a review of at least one of them by next week.
All right. Well, what's next week's movie is going to be the new Netflix horror movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. What's it called? Velvet Buzzsaw?
Yep.
Yes.
Which comes out, I believe, on Friday. It's got Rene Russo in it. It's a horror comedy that looks like it's out there.
Weird choice for Jake Gyllenhaal at this point in his career.
Hey, he's on fire, man. He's getting Mysterio in a new Spider-Man. He was what's that called? Nightcrawler. That movie was awesome.
Nightcrawler was amazing.
Netflix is throwing around cash. It's probably not that hard to get A-listers right now.
Yep, and we're going to pay for it eventually.
So, when's it going up to $14?
It's going up $1 or $2 or whatever, but wait till it goes up $5-10.
I'll be canceling.
Well, yeah. Once Disney's streaming service kicks in and everybody's jumping ship, you'll see it go back down.
Disney, screw that bastard.
You can say that, but it's going to happen.
It probably will.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your kids aren't small anymore. Everybody with little kids is going to have that channel.
I know. Yeah, I don't want anything in the Disney universe, but I understand.
I mean, for us, Shudder's $4 a month, and Netflix is gonna be $14. Like, if it keeps going up, I don't know. Yeah, maybe when the Marvel stuff goes away, that would be interesting to see what happens. Maybe that'll help. Because I don't know. I enjoy like one movie a month Netflix puts out, and it's just not worth the money I'm spending on it right now.
Well, I'm watching The Office a lot, so I need it for that.
Well, there you
Just
go.
like we have Hulu strictly for It's Always Sunny.
Oh yeah, I still have to catch up on that. Anyway, all right, I'm done.
Done.
Okay. Well, everybody, thanks for listening, and don't forget to share, like, and all the other stuff you can do for a podcast. We'll see you next week.
Good night, you right bastards.
Bye.